Hello, we are back once again with the Fermented World. Crikey, there's someone in here already. Someone is late. Do you know what I am? It's been really hot, dude. And I keep forgetting to water the garden. All my plants are like wilting and stuff because I've got a lot of them in pots, ready to be put in places whenever I've decided how the back garden is going to be laid out. But yeah, today we are checking in on the Pyment. Which is, once again, a mead that uses fermented grape juice as well as honey. Now, it did have what was left of the, what's it called? Liquid gold in there. Literally just now. I've had to pour it out to be able to do this. But this is the Pyment. It's got a lovely red colour. That comes from the grapes. I'm not sure whether I preferred this one to the original. Without having a bottle of the original, it's hard to tell. But this one came out really clear. I could have probably poured this from the bottle thinking about it. But never mind. Yeah, I probably could have. We are going to get absolutely all of this. I did bring a glass. Where have I put it? Could have sworn I bought a glass. Yeah, I did. So how are you guys doing? Everybody okay? Have you had a good, is it still the 4th? No, it's the 5th. Did you all have a good 4th of July? For my American friends. I hope you did. I hope you had loads to eat, loads of booze, loads of fireworks, and friends all around. Hello, you can't see me. How you doing, dude? And that is what we have got. Crystal clear. Looks like wine, but it is sweet as. Guess what, knack? I don't know what that means, but guess who's back? Nice one, Gov. Hello, Ollie. Worked on a 1-ton diesel. Had to order all the parts, rebuild the front end steering components. Yeah, my suspicions are correct then, isn't it, Gov? I know who you are, sunshine. What's the live about? So today's live is about a Pyment mead that I'm sampling. It's a mead that uses fermented grapes as well as honey. So it's essentially a wine that's sweetened with honey. It's really good. I genuinely do recommend one of these. This is probably a bit sweeter than the last one. The last one tended to have a bit more grape flavour about it, but I might have put too much honey in, I'm not sure. Can't remember without looking at it. Going to start another Pyment soon. Yes, so I genuinely think that you should maybe not drink it all before it's actually ready. Did you step feed this Pyment? No, but I am going to do a video on step feeding. I thought about it the other week because City Steadings, I remember watching one of theirs where they did something called a black sack mead, and it was a black currant mead, blackberry mead, sorry, and it was like step fed, you know, little by little. They just added a little bit more honey, let it consume it, then add a bit more, let it consume it, and then so on and so on and so on, and it ended up getting something that was like 18%, and it was just dastardly. They said that it was extremely strong, because most mead yeast or champagne yeast, as it is, you'll only get about an 18%. I think the most I ever got was 18.4. And again, it's only a guesstimate, a guideline. Definitely, Ollie. Take it easy, dude. Yeah, I think that's the way forward. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I've used the Kvike yeast. I used some of that recently, actually. Or was it a different one I used? I can't even remember. Because I brew so much, I find it really hard to actually remember what I've done and what I've brewed in the past, which is why I like having the vast archive of all the recipes that I put on here, because if I ever can't find the paperwork, I've got it all on here as to what's going on. I actually did a Kvike beer recently. It turned out really well. It fermented at 30 degrees, which I was shitting myself because I was thinking there ain't no way that it should be fermenting that high, but the range was 20 to 30. But then it said if you want to excel and get the best flavors out of it, do it at 30 to 40. And I did. I listened to what the packet said. I eagerly kind of just did it at flipping one. Sorry, my brain just had a fart. I've had quite a busy day. I've been recording for my other channel called Walk Cook Walk, and I got attacked by a load of wasps. There was a wasp like the size of between the end of my thumb to my knuckle there. I don't know what it was. It was some big ass thing though. That strawberry vanilla mead I made was 18%. Good stuff. Used lactic acid and it was creamy and sweet. Okay. Yeah. 18%. You see that? Although I do like a strong beer, for me, a mead, because I tend to drink about half a bottle a night, half a litre, so like a 500ml bottle. I tend to think that around 14% is where I like it. Any more than that, and bad shit happens. You stand up and you're like, oh crap, I'm actually quite drunk. Because when you sat down drinking it, you don't really realise is when you actually stand up and then the world starts going vroom, vroom. Fucking hell, nearly knocked my hat off. But yeah, 18%. I mean, I'll do one just because I want to do a step-fed one to see if I can break that 18% barrier again. I can't remember what I did it on. I think it wasn't even a mead. I think it was an orange wine. And I did it just because I could. It was literally orange juice, store-bought, concentrate stuff. It was cheap as chips. Threw in some mead yeast and it just obliterated it in like literally 4 or 5 days, and it was just done. And that was like 18 odd percent. Or was it? No, I think it was 18.9, come to think of it. I think that's the threshold that I got to, 18.9. That rings a bell. So yeah, I want to break the yeast barrier. I'm not sure. I've heard of people doing something called Frosty Jack, where they'll get like a cider and freeze it out and then remove, take away whatever's left to it, or of it, sorry, which is then like all of the alcohol part, because the alcohol part doesn't freeze, I think. And so they remove the water content through the ice. I'm not sure about if it's legal or illegal. But I do know that you can distill in this country as long as it's for personal use. Like if you're obviously like making like some flipping, what was his name? Something, that old moonshiner. Come on, Ray, you know who I mean. That old moonshiner. Cotton, something, was it something Cotton? I can't remember his sodding name. Dusty Cotton or something. But anyway, yeah, no, I think you can distill, but I think it's like, you kind of keep it quiet, I believe. But I don't do any distilling anyway. I am 100% fermentation. That's the only way I do things. It scares me to think about what you could do wrong with distilling. And I suppose it's one of those journeys that once you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. It's the same as anything, isn't it? Once you've made your first mead, you're like, yeah, I can do this. Once you've done your first all grain beer, you're like, why did I use the liquid malt extracts? So it's all about that. Fair enough. I've not heard of this ice box, if that's how you pronounce it. I've heard of like, is it just a bock lager then? Because it's a type of lager, isn't it? Freeze condensers isn't really distilling, as distilling requires heat. Yeah, but it has the same effect though, doesn't it? It's removing the water content. That's what I'm getting at. This might be a bit too sweet, you know, because it has got a bit of a fruitiness, but I think it masks quite a bit. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's nice enough. I've sent a bottle up to my son. He quite likes my meads and beers and things like that. He samples some of them. I charge him for the mead, but, you know, one beer out of a batch of 20, I don't need to charge him for that. So that's a Belgian style of doppel, isn't it? It means double. Or is that doppel? I don't know. But yeah, what's everybody else brewing? What have you got brewing? Currently. And Ray, have you managed to get your beer brewing kit yet? And what is your plans? Are you going to be brewing one of my beers first? Or have you got your own idea of what you want to be doing? Messed up last night. Okay. Doesn't sound good, dude. Not going to lie. But what you got to take from it, right? If you screwed it up, don't worry about it. It's all learning. Now, I started brewing, but I started this channel 4 years ago this month. I think it's around the 16th or 17th of this month. It's been going for 4 years. And it's slowly gained progress, but it's such a niche market. Now, I look at some YouTubers, and I'm like, they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers, subscribers, sorry. And, you know, they've probably been doing it longer than me, or maybe not. Doesn't matter, you know. I'm quite happy just sitting at the back of the class, just drawing on the table. But I do have this still. This is what's left. I took some out with me on my other channel. I cooked some piri piri tacos, and I was sat there drinking this. Got attacked by wasps. Yeah, do go check out my other channel though. It's called Walk Cook Walk. It's in its infancy at the moment though. It's, you know, I've only got a couple of subscribers, and I don't plan to get mega subscribers. You know, I'm never going to beg for them. But while you're already a part of this, you may as well be a part of that if it's something that interests you, camping food. I started with oats, and it was brought to the boil, added Pilsner dry malt extract and sprinkled amber. Then some Irish moss of 1%. .022. Added honey, brought the OG up. Made it a honey ale. Oh, okay. So, is what you're saying that you didn't manage to get the you didn't get the gravity that you was expecting? Is that what you're saying? Let me just flick this light on. It's gone a bit dark. That's better. It's bubbling away right now. Yeah, if it's bubbling away, it is working. Yeah, if you got bubbles, dude, it is fermenting. Do not worry about it. Pardon me. And whatever you do get from it, don't worry about it if it's shit, dude, because it's one of those things where you don't know how to do it until you know how to do it. Watching somebody do it is different to actually doing it. I remember the first time I was actually brewing with the liquid malt extract kits, you know, like the syrup. And I got so goddamn stressed because I'm thinking, this ain't going to work, this ain't going to work. The next day I woke up and there it was, bubbling away. And you know, when I'd finally finished it, bottled it, and I was sat waiting. I must have waited like a week, and then I just flipping drank it. It was just so good, dude. To be sat in the back garden with a beverage you've made yourself, you know? It's like you put the time, the effort in, and there you go. It's just, it is magic. It is magic. It's probably the same with your tin type, dude, where you're printing onto tin. You know, when it works and it's good and it looks good, it's magic, you know? It's like, there is an art to it. I kind of make it look easy, but that's because I've been doing it so long. So somebody commented once, they were just like, I love how you just throw stuff in a bucket, add yeast, and see what happens. And do you know what? That is exactly what I do. So if it's thick, you've maybe got too much, maybe trying to put too much grain in. So for my capacity, I only brew about 11 litres at a time. So normally base malt for me is about 2 kilograms. You'll have to figure out what it is in pounds. But for me it's 2 kilograms, and then any of the other malts that go into it, depending on what they are and what it is I'm trying to do, will either be 100 grams, 250 grams, sometimes 175 grams, very rarely over 250 grams. Because then that will just build up the rest of it. So you want a grain, I think it's called a grain bill, which is like all the grains that you're putting in. You want it to be around, depending on what volume you're doing it at. Like I say, for me, around 2.5 kilo of malt will give you something that's around 5.5%, maybe, depending if you get a good enough extract. The more grain you put in, the harder it is to mix. As you always see, I use a drill and a flipping paint mixer because it wrecks your arm. It absolutely wrecks your arm to be able to mix malt that's that thick, because it's like porridge, you know. It's like porridge when you haven't put enough bloody milk in. Pardon me. But yeah, don't worry. I do hope that it goes well, mate. But again, you know, just don't fret about it. You're already a brewer because you brew mead so good that you don't even wait for it to be ready to drink, you know? Like, you drink it before you even... Did you drink it before you even bottled it? I'm sure that's what you said. Brilliant. But yeah, don't worry about it. Whatever will be, will be. Ended up adding a 2 gallon of water down. The hydrometer sank to the bottom past 999. Then added water to get a reading. It seems to be working out. Yeah, just take it all on the chin, dude. I don't know if you know what that saying means. It just means don't worry about it. It'll be whatever it's going to be, you know. Like when I throw things, like all these recipes that I've made, I mean, I've got a couple here. I don't mind sharing them with you. I won't tell you exactly what's going on because that'll just be a bit of a spoiler. But I'll tell you what kind of ales I'm going for. So there's a beer in one of those books that I've kind of took a bit of inspiration from. And it uses spruce tips. Drank the Pyment straight out of the cup. I love it. I bloody love it. If it tastes good, drink it. Sod it, man. If it tastes good, drink it. You know? That's exactly it. Oh, that's brilliant. So, I've got one that's got the spruce tips. It's got pale ale malt, Munich malt, wheat malt, Magnum hop, Centennial, Citra, Simcoe, and then there's some of the same other things going into like a dry hop. Then there's one called Light One, which is a Helles lager, because Helles actually means light one. which I didn't know until I found it in this book. So I'm kind of using theirs as a guideline, but I'm adjusting it slightly so that I'm able to share it, if that makes sense, because otherwise I'm just ripping them off with their own bloody thing. And sometimes I've got the hops already, or it only needs, like for one of them, it only needed like 5 grams of hops. So I just Googled what's a good replacement for, say, Fuggles, which is a UK hops, and it was like use SARS. So I already had some SARS, so I just got it used up. So this is going to be Hellas Lager, or Hell's Lager, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, and I don't really care. It's got Pils malt, Munich malt, Carapils, Vienna malt, and it uses Helletia Mittelfrau, whatever the sod hell that is, and it's got some SARS in there as well, right at the end. Now, do you guys know what Newcastle Brown Ale is? Because we call it Nuki Brown. It's from up Newcastle, which is like top of, like midway before you get to Scotland. And they do this brown ale. It's flipping legendary. If you ever get a chance to try a Nuki Brown, please do. Me and my mate, we used to go to rock concerts, metal concerts, and it was the only thing we did drink there because we thought they watered down the beer. So we only bought what we could see in bottles and saw them and watched them tip it out. So yeah, this one's got pale malt, flaked torrefied maize. Now I've never used maize in a brew before, so that's going to be interesting. It's got crystal malt. I always like crystal malt. It always gives like that hell of a lot of colour, and it's kind of like a caramelly flavour, but it's not caramel. And then it's got a bit of black malt. Now, I don't know whether the amount of black malt that I've put in it is going to make it too dark, or whether it's going to make it all right. But this is going to have lactose in to make it sweet. So if you're lactose intolerant, you'll have to find a substitute. There are some out there. It's said to use brown sugar, but instead of using brown sugar, like it said in their recipe, I've got some dark candy from a Belgian double that I made, which was bloody good, by the way. So please do go check that out. Dark candy, and instead of the Fuggles, no, that was it, sorry, this is the one. Instead of the Fuggles hops that it said to use, I've got a big bag of Styrian Goldings. So I'm just going to use that. Then you guys must know who Paddington Bear is. 1 second. They sell it in the States. I've had it. Good stuff. Yeah, it's really malty, a little bit sweet. Oh, it's such a good flipping ale, man. I really wish I had one now. It is so good. But hopefully mine's going to turn out a little bit like that. Let's hope so. So this is, anyway, you know who Paddington Bear is. So this is going to be like a wheat beer, but it's going to have a bit of a Paddington Bear theme. So it's called Please Look After This Beer instead of Bear. You must have seen Paddington Bear movies. So it's got loads of wheat malt. I don't mind telling you, this has got 2.5 kilograms of wheat malt in. So most of the beer is just wheat malt. Then it's got a little bit of roasted barley in there as well. It's got that Helletia hops in there again. And it's going to have some of these dried orange rings thrown in as well. And a jar of marmalade, of course, with a wheat beer yeast. Then, now this is the one that I'm really interested in. So the one that had the pine needles in, that came today. Actually, I haven't even opened that package. Let me go grab it. Crikey, that's bigger than I bloody expected. So it said to use spruce tips, but I could not get spruce tips because although I can identify quite a lot of plants wild that you can eat, Jar of marmalade. Just orange flavour, mate. Standard orange marmalade. And yeah, so he's live again. Hello, bad animation. How you doing, dude? So let's see what these pine needles are going to be, because this is what's going to kind of substitute for the spruce tips that I'm going to be using in one of the beers. Don't really smell like much, to be honest. Kind of smells a bit like dead grass. It might be shit, it might be good, who knows. But anywho, we'll give that a go. They're going to be steeped in some hot water for that brew, and we'll see if we can get some piney, resinous flavour from them. Anyway, back to the one that I'm really excited about. I'm going to be naming it Botanic Ale. So it's a botanical beer. It's going to have Pilsner malt, wheat malt, Vienna malt, Belgian aromatic malt, Magnum, Sterling. No, I didn't use Sterling. What did I use instead of Sterling? Can't remember now. But I couldn't get Sterling hops. Sterling's a crossbreed between 3 different hops. It sounded amazing, but I couldn't get my hands on it. I'm not sure what I used instead of that, to be honest. It's probably one of the hops that it was combined with. So this is going to be using a Saison yeast, which I was a bit... I didn't want to use a Saison because I wanted the cleanness of what's going to be going in it after. So it's got loads of flowers in it. It's going to be using heather, dandelion, chamomile and lavender. Now I've actually already taken some lavender off the lavender plant in the garden the other day, because I snapped some, so I moved it to the side, I put it in some soil, tried to get it to root and stuff like that, but it didn't, it just died. So it was already pre-dried, so I've kind of potted that today in a little tub, so that's what we're going to be using. I've got some chamomile tea. Chamomile, I'm probably saying it wrong. I have got some tea, because I was going to do a chamomile and cranberry mead, but I never actually got round to it. So that'll remind me to do that. And then I'm going to be brewing a barley wine. This is going to be insanely strong, if it works. Fingers crossed it bloody works. Now, I don't know whether... I don't even know where it's brewed. It's called Gold Label. So it's basically, it's classed as a wine because of its ABV. But these days, you can have something that's 10% and it's still classed as a stout. You got a triple IPA, it's still classed as an IPA. So barley wine I'm not quite sure why it's still classed as a barley wine, even though you can get beers that are like, you know, crazy ABV. But this is just going to be a lot of Maris Otter, a bit of wheat malt, a bit of chocolate malt, and then it's going to have Chinook, Centennial, and Columbus. And I've already got a packet of Nottingham yeast. I want to say it's by Lallemans. I'm not sure. I know I always get confused by the brands and stuff like that. I'm not the sharpest knife, I will admit. But I'm having fun, and that's what bloody well matters. No, they're for 2 different brews, dude. The pine needles are going in a pale ale. It's inspired by a Welsh brewery called the Celtic Experience. I've kind of borrowed some bits from their brew that I've got in a book over here. It's actually a really good homebrew book. Where have I put it? What? So it's got craft brewers. I don't get paid for sharing this with you, by the way. I am not sponsored by anybody yet. If somebody wants to sponsor me, then happy days. I would love to be. But no, I don't get any money, but this is a really good book. For example, it goes through the whole rigmarole of how to brew. It gives you all the information on craft brewery. And then it goes, oh my God, I've literally just turned to that page. Look, first time, the Celtic Experience. What are the fecking chances of that? It's probably because I've had it open so many times. But yeah, like I say, I've borrowed the idea from this. I couldn't buy the actual spruce tips, so I've had to buy like pine needles. So I'll probably end up using double the amount that's supposed to go in, just to make sure that I've got enough flavour and stuff like that. But yeah, this book's really good. So there's American breweries, there's Welsh breweries, Denmark, Germany, you name it, USA. So Lagunitas Brewing Company. I've probably pronounced it wrong, but they've got one of their beers there called Little Something Something, which is a 7.5 pale wheat ale. Looks bloody good to me. Obviously, we've got some from England, Burning Skies Brewery. Another one from England, Brew by Numbers. They are really good. Oh shit. From New Zealand. Yeah, it's a really good homebrew book. Another one from New Zealand. And some saisons. We've got Brooklyn Brewery. They've got the Sriracha Ace United States Hop Saison. And it just gives you it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you how much of this you need, how much of that you need, what hops you need, so on and so on and so on. And they're all pretty basic. The brews, they're all pretty much the same. There's a couple that have got like a certain way of doing things, like mash temperatures change ever so slightly. Yes, dude, it did. It did actually turn out rather well. I bottled it, was it yesterday? Either yesterday or the day before. Bottled it. It did taste really good. Once the pardon me. Once the honey and the other banana and strawberry went in, it did actually create quite a nice beverage. It's still quite high on the strawberry side, as where before, after the first fermentation, there was more banana flavour than there was actually strawberry. So if I was going to brew it again, I'd probably try it with fresh fruit instead of stuff that's frozen. Because I think that way you've got more control over the flavour of what's going to happen. You know, because I think you want more banana than you do strawberry to be able to get that banana flavour in there. But it is a very weird thing to brew with, banana, because it kind of disappears. It flipping disintegrated, I tell you. It was like, you throw it in and you open it up and you can see all the strawberries and you're looking around and it's like, okay, where's the flipping banana? It's like it's literally dissolved into the liquid. It was mental. But also, very bloody nice. I'd definitely brew one of them again. Yeah. Do you brew yourself, Bad Animation? Are you a home brewer? The dog's coming to say hello. All right, Butch. What do you want? What? What? Where's your ball? Trampling. Not at all. I was asking about a kit last time I came on, though. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty simple to put together, dude. Mead's a lot simpler than beer. Beer's a little bit more difficult to brew and get good results, but it's all doable. I can do it. I'm pretty simple, mate. So I'm sure that even if you had a go at it, I'm sure you'd excel. And if it is mead that you're interested in, you're on for a winner, because mead is so much easier than beer. Pardon me. It literally is throw honey, water and yeast in a bucket and you will have mead. As long as you can check the gravity and make sure the gravity isn't too high, which means you haven't got too much sugar in there, it most definitely will be sound. Jim Rife has just emailed me another recipe. Cheers, Jim. Much obliged, dude. Or shall I call you Mutant? Yeah, cheers, dude. I will check that out later. It will work, mate. Yep. So don't worry about what you think might work. Do it. Just do it, mate. It might be shit. It could be colossal. Now that's got me thinking I want to brew a pineapple and mango mead. Because I love pineapple. I absolutely adore mead. I think I might be a bit pished. Absolutely adore mango. I'm even going to try a mango pale soon. Now, it might very well happen with one of the kits that I've got here. Might just lob some flipping mango in. But do it, dude. That is all I'm saying, mate. You will not regret it. And even if it doesn't work, you will learn from the mistakes that you make, and then you just try again. Try again. My first ever mead was a basic honey mead, and that's what I suggest you do first. If you haven't already covered a basic honey mead, don't start lobbing extra ingredients in just yet, because the chances are, if it's going to screw up, it's going to screw up with loads of other things in there as well. Get your head around the idea of doing a basic traditional honey mead first, and that way you'll be absolutely laughing when it comes to having a go with different things. So a friend of mine, Ginge, I hope you're watching, Ginge, and if you're not, I hope you come and watch this later. He was umming and ahhing about starting, and I said, just do it, dude. Just do it. You'll be all right. It'll be okay. I'll guide you through it. If you do ever need any help as well, if you contact me on Instagram, I can talk you through it. If you've got a problem at that time where you're not sure what to do, just drop me a message. Within 20 minutes, I'll probably be able to answer you. That's Fermented World Gaz on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, then that's just tough titties, isn't it? But yeah, I've helped plenty of people, guided them through how to do it, and now they're away brewing. They don't even need to ask me questions anymore because they've done it. They've made the mistakes. They've learnt from it. You know, my advice would be use the cheapest honey you could find to begin with. You know, I always thought buying the cheap shit isn't the best idea, but I think for your first one, it's worth buying the cheaper stuff, because why would you want to waste money? Mangrove Jack's mead yeast is always a good start. It's called M05. That's what I've been using for years, and I've just started using, oh shit, what's it called? EC18888, or is it 81111? I can't remember now. But yeah, definitely, mate. If you do need a bit of help, I'm assuming that's you that's just added me on Instagram as well. If you do need a bit of help, man, don't worry about it. Just drop me a message anytime. If I'm available, man, I will most definitely help you through it. Happily. What's going on here? We've got more comments. What we've got? Experimentation is fun. You're right. And that is what leads to amazing recipes that you can just share with people, you know. So so it's funny, you know, with the juniper and vanilla mead, I actually only did that because I needed to spend a certain amount more to get free shipping for my grains, because I buy in bulk so then I get it over a certain amount and I get free shipping. Otherwise it's £6 that you've just pissed into the wind, and I hate paying for delivery. I'd sooner pay £90 and get free delivery, you know, but then obviously have everything ready to brew. Like, I've got 6 recipes and they're all in this box here. Massive big box. Oh, you bugger. And unfortunately, my mate Matt, who owns the Brew Day Supplies, sadly, he's actually closing down. So that's one of them. That's the Spruce Up Pale Ale. That's got the maize for the brown ale. We've got the the brown ale, which has obviously got the bit of dark malt in there, which you can sort of see. I've not got the angle right for the light, have I? But yeah, I've got loads of beer kits here, and he just puts them together. You tell him what he wants, what you want, and then he just puts it all in a bag for you. But sadly, yeah, he's closing down. It's not sustainable, he says. He says he's not making any money in that. And there's the last one, which is the bear, which is the Paddington Bear one. It is a shame to see, because he's sort of local to me as well. He's not local, but he's in Nottingham. And it is a shame when, you know, because I've met him at a beer festival as well, and actually I spoke to the chap, and he's always been sound, and I've always been able to pick his brain about things. Blue, move, watch out, watch out. And he's always been able to answer my questions, because, you know, I'm not 100% bulletproof with brewing. Sometimes I don't know things, so I have to either Google them, ask another brewer, or, you know, go to somebody who's within the industry who's actually like selling the product, because they know exactly what they're doing. Anyway, where was I? Experimentation is fun, and it's the ingredients you want that aren't really expensive. Honey is the most costly ingredient, and the equipment is reusable. Yeah, so I brew small batches unless I know that the recipe is good. Unless I've done it before, I do small batches of a gallon, which is what I recommend to start with. As I was saying, my mate Dave Ginge, he started off with a small amount, and then he's up, because he's got the knowledge, you know, by being able to help him through it. And, you know, he just rings me up like, I'm doing this, what am I doing wrong here? And we kind of had a couple of things where it was like, it must be this dude, do this. And he's pushed through, and now he's doing the meads that he likes. He's doing double the amount in bigger buckets, and he's absolutely sailing away. And, you know, it's brilliant. Yes, it is the EC1118, dude. Yeah, definitely. If you can carbonate a mead, hydromel with a lime, it tastes like drinking Sprite or 7-Up. That could be deadly, dude. Even if it is a hydromel, you still get shit-faced, wouldn't you? Add a lime post-fermentation, citric acid container. Indeed, it is me who added you. Nice one, dude. If I had a bunch of money, I'd like to make a mead with mad honey. Oh, that's the one that's the psychedelic thing, isn't it? Make you trip out. Nah, not for me, dude. My head's screwed up enough as it is. I don't need to be seeing things that aren't there. I often question reality as it is. Flipping heck. The mad honey is like $100. Nah. Nah. It ain't worth it, mate. I think it's just a gimmick. You know, there's other things you could do if you want to get lifted like that, dude. Come on. But nah, not for me. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. But bad animation. Definitely try a honey mead. Honey, water, yeast. I've got a video on it somewhere. There must be. Somewhere along the line, just look for traditional mead in my repertoire. If you're ever trying to search for any of my stuff, if you go to drugs are bad, okay? If you go to YouTube search, type in what it is you're looking for, and then hashtag fermented world, it should bring up anything that I've got that's relevant, because pardon me, I always put hashtag fermented world in the description, in the title, so that it's easy for me to find when I'm looking for stuff, so that I can find information on how strong a beer was, what the gravity was flipping 2 weeks ago or whatever, because I've got a brain like a sieve. I mean, I'm getting better because I've started writing things down again. Like, rule number 1 for me with brewing is sterilize, sterilize, sterilize. Absolutely everything that's going to come in contact with your brew, sterilize it. You know, and use a proper product as well. There's loads about, you can get chem sands or something like that, star sands. I think it's star sands. I use this one. I've been using it for quite a while. So I bought, as I say, I like to save money, so I bought it in bulk. I bought it in a massive big container, and me and a mate split on it. So it's called VWP, dual purpose cleaner and sanitizer. You can buy it in much smaller tubs, but the plan is, after, I'm going to convert this, because the seal's really, really good. I'm actually going to drill a hole in the top and convert it into a flipping small brewer. Could probably get about, I think that's about, what, maybe 5 litres? No, it's not 5 litres, is it? It's a gallon, isn't it? It's probably going to be about a gallon, which is about 4.5 litres in the UK. Use Star San. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I haven't used it myself, I don't believe, but I do know that there's a few of them out on the market that you can use. I've actually got another one, which Matt from Brew Day Supplies gave me free. There you go. You know when I was saying Chemsan, I'm not losing my mind, because that's what that is. So there's a couple of brands out there. Now, I don't particularly use the liquid ones. In a tight spot, if I'd run out and I hadn't realised, I know I've got that in the cupboard. But this is my go-to, and it comes in a powder. I mean, it's nasty stuff, dude. You don't want to get this stuff in your stomach. It says do not breathe in. Every time I smell this stuff, my nose twitches. It's like, what the sodding hell is in it? It's like deadly. It's like, you know, it's gonna screw some shit up. But it cleans, and that's what matters. Killing flies with Star Sands, bro. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's corrosive, isn't it? What it does, I'm not sure whether Star Sands is the same. But the one that I use, this, is it VWP? It oxidizes. So it absolutely just strips the crap out of every nook and cranny. Even if you've got say you've got a plastic fermenter that's slightly damaged with like a, what's the word? A gouge or a slash on the inside, it will still be able to get everything that's in there out. It is brilliant stuff. And you do it it says to measure it out, but I never do. I just eyeball it and just give it a go. You know, never really had any problems. But here's a weird one. The English Pale Ale, I've got a video coming up. I'm probably going to try and upload it tomorrow. The English Pale Ale, I noticed that only one bottle was actually carbonating. And I'm like, what's going on here then? So I hold it up to the light and I can see the bubbles going. Held up the one next to it, absolutely nothing. Not a murmur, no nothing. So I've actually had to, I think I did it today, I think I had to put in a very small amount of yeast into every bottle. I had to open them all out, and half of them didn't even fizz or pop. Some of them went like that, as normally you'd get a tss as it goes. But no, this was absolutely not like that. So hopefully I'm able to save it with adding this little bit of yeast to then consume the sugar, because I drank one of the beers because I thought, well, I'm going to open it to see whether it's carbonated, and it wasn't. And this is 2 days after it was bottled. So might end up with a bit of a shit pale ale with flipping sugar in it. It wasn't very nice, to be honest. You could definitely see tell the sugar was there, and the sugar actually knackered up the flavour of the malts that was in there to begin with, and even the hops. It kind of just shat on everything. But you know, I thought, well, I can either leave it and do nothing, or I can be proactive and try and get it to actually do something. Now, even if it takes a month to carbonate, I'm not bothered. I will wait for it to be carbonated. Now, literally, I used a very, very small amount of yeast. Like, literally, like, you know, nail clippers, small nail clippers. I used the end of one of them, sanitized, of course, and I just put in a small amount of it. Is mead sweet? Generally, yes, but it can also be dry like a wine. So what we do is we brew the fermentable sugars to a certain point, and then you add stoppers to it, which stops any more fermentation, and then you put in more sugar, or honey, sorry, to then sweeten it back up. So it depends on how sweet you want it. You can have it where it's like not sweet at all, or you can have it where it's crazy sweet. You can. There's different styles. Here we go. Look, you're making me dig out my books now. So I've got this as well. Again, it will help. These things are, you know, hands down, they will just show you exactly what's what. But let's try and find out where it says the different styles of mead. It goes into different honey types. Did you know there's a type of honey for almost every plant or flower on the planet? That's insane, isn't it? Stands to reason, though. So I'm sorry, but there we go. Now it's types of honey. I want to do the types of mead because there's so many different ones, and it'd be good to just quickly just speak through them. It's something I've been wanting to do. Sweetness levels, sorry, that's what I was on about. So if you've got it between the gravities between 0.998 to 1.010, that's classed as a dry mead. You've got a semi-sweet, which is 1.011 to 1.020. So mine are always classed as semi-sweet because 1.020 is the point where I have my sugar level put back in through the honey. You've got a sweet mead, which is 1.021, and then it goes up to 1.030, which that's going to be like really sweet. And then you got what's called a dessert mead, which is anything that's 1.031 and higher. So I did a buckwheat honey one called a Trożniak, which is a Polish style of mead, and I might be wrong, but I think it's 3 parts water. No, it's 2 parts water to 1 part honey. So you can imagine that it's quite sweet. The gravity was crazy high. It fermented out really, really nicely, and it used buckwheat honey. If you ever get the chance to use buckwheat honey, please do. It's expensive, but it is absolutely phenomenal. It's probably the best honey I've ever tasted, other than some of the local stuff that I've managed to get my hand on from around here. I had some that was over in Woollerton, which is probably about 2 miles away as the crow flies. I mean, just look at that. It's magical. It's like a storm in a glass. Anyway, I'm waffling now. A real good book is called The Flavor Bible by Karen Page. It describes different flavors that work together. That sounds interesting. The Flavor Bible. Let me write that down, because I will forget. I think I wrote something down the other day that someone had said, and I don't even know where to put the bloody piece of paper. So, like I was saying, it was only by chance. Sorry, I digress. I go off on one and then thoughts start going and the mouth starts opening, and before you know it, I'm just chatting absolute shit. So I was talking about the juniper and the Madagascan vanilla. So the only reason why that actually happened was I needed to spend more money to then get, you know, the free shipping. So I added these juniper berries because they were like £3.70 or something, and that's what I needed, or I needed a little bit under that, but to be able to get the free shipping. So I bought them and thought, you know, I'll throw them in the mead, whatever. And then I was like, right, shit, I don't know what I'm going to actually put them with. So then I put them with this Madagascan vanilla, which he just so happened to have on his flipping website as well. And it went with them. I was like, wow. So it was meant to be. And it did turn out a rather nice mead. It's a bit peculiar. Like, I'd explain it like a grape flavored lollipop. So like an artificial grape flavor that you get in like pops or sodas, or, you know, like a hard boiled sweet on a stick, lollipop or whatever. Take it easy, dude. I'm off skis soon anyway, man. See you in a bit, Ray. But yeah, so the glass is nearly empty anyway. So we are nearly out of time, ladies and gentlemen. But I do appreciate people joining and, you know, coming in and having a little chat, getting engaged and stuff like that. It's marvellous, you know. It's good to see that people give a shit. Because, I mean, I don't class myself as a YouTuber. I'd like to think of myself as more an educator, someone who's here to show people how to do it simply. My content is, you know, it's how I like it. It's simple. It's explained, you know. There's no like me jumping out of the corner and being like waving my hands like, oh yeah, follow me, ooh, and all that crap. I can't be arsed with that. You know, it does my absolute boxing. Some people like that kind of content. Mine's a bit more relaxed, I think. It's more easygoing instead of intense, you know, because some social media can be a bit intense, I suppose. But others, you know, they're a little bit more dialed down, and that's how I like mine to be. Plus, my editing skills are basic, like really basic. I literally do it on my phone. I record it on my phone, and I use, I think it's iMovies, which is an Apple thing that's installed automatically. Hi guys, enjoying my homebrew IPA, and I'm a bit pissed. Hello, Gaping Gash. Marvellous. How was your IPA? What's your base malt? We were talking about base malts earlier on with Ray. It's good to be a bit pissed, dude. This is just a variation of being at a pub chatting without leaving the house. Sort of, yes. Although I can't see you guys, which is, you know, it's a bit shit, really. I mean, if you guys ever wanted to join a live, you know, I can actually send one of you an invitation, I believe. I wouldn't know how to do it just now, but I could probably, like, there's someone on YouTube who could show me how to do it, which is exactly what I do. I show you how to do it, and then they show me how to do it. If you don't know, YouTube is the way. I am sorry though, Gaping. We are just about to close this one down. But you can still answer the question though. What's your base malt? Also, what's everybody's favourite hops? If you drink beer, what's your favourite hops? Mine is Centennial. Now, the reason for this is it's the first ever hops that I bought to brew my, what I call Knacker's Yard. And it's a tribute to a friend of mine who passed away, because we had a joke. It was really old, pardon me. And we had a joke. He was like, "Look at me, man, I'm falling apart." And I said to him, "Don't worry, mate. Stick yourself on the corner tomorrow morning and the bin men will take you off to the knacker's yard." Well, he passed away that night. He had a heart attack. And obviously it was that joke just stuck in my head, and I found it quite funny that, you know, that was the last time I'd actually bloody spoken to him with that joke. And so I brewed a beer in memory for him, and it had Centennial in. It's literally only Centennial. I think it's extra pale malt, crystal malt. I think it's medium crystal. Maybe a bit of chip malt as well. Can't remember now off the top of my head. But yeah, it was good, man. And I do it every year. I haven't done it this year yet, and I kind of forgot to do it when I was buying the grains. But because Brew Day Supplies is closing down, they're going to be doing a sale soon. So if any of you are from the UK, check out Brew Day Supplies around the 10th. They're going to be having a I think he said he's going to do like a buy 3 kits and get the 4th for free. Now, some of these beer kits are really, really good. Like, you know, the ones that they've put together themselves. It's Matt's knowledge that he's used to put these together, and they are really, really, really good. I've had a rye IPA, I've had a wheat beer, and all of that information that I've gained over the years from using his own things. All of the UK, mate. Yep, all of the UK. Brew Day Supplies. Type it into Google, dude. Yeah, they'll definitely ship to Scotland, mate. Definitely. And if you spend £90, you get free delivery, I believe. That might depend on where you are, though. They use DPS, is it? DPD. They use DPD, mate. But yeah, like I say, they're going to be doing an offer. Unfortunately, they are closing down. It's really sad because I'm going to have to find somewhere else where I can get my grain. Now, their prices were always amazing. I actually calculated what it would cost. I know I'm running over time and I do need to leave, but I actually calculated how much it would cost to buy all the malt and the hops and the yeast from their store to compare with what one of their kits was that they've put together themselves. And I think there was only like a £2 difference. So they're charging £2 extra on top of what, you know, they're not really like going mad with trying to make profit off it because they're selling the malt. The malt's what they want to sell. If they can sell it in a kit, happy days, you know. And the you're looking at it now, yeah, Sweaty Mango. I've not done that one. That's one of them that I'm hoping that they do put on the offer. There's a couple that I'm looking at, dude. There's a sticky toffee pudding one by Dark Skies Brewery or Blue Skies Brewery, and there's another one which is an imperial oh shit, some imperial thing where it's got like like a Star Wars theme or something like that. It's 65 quid though, dude, but it's like a blueberry imperial rip your face off stout or something like that. It looks so good. But yeah, no real favourite hops, but this comes to mind. Styrian Goldings. Yeah, okay, I've not really used it a great deal. I have used it, but I think it was only for like a small part of a dry hop for something, or it might have been the bittering hops for something. Pardon me. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, my glass is empty. I could fill it again and chat with you guys for another hour and a half, I'm sure. But I do have to go put the kids to bed and crack another beer, I think. I've got a bit of mead to get through. There's still that much of that. And I also need to finish off the... I do love this. I do love this. I can't get past how freaking awesome it looks. Wait, let me try and look at that. That's freaking magic right there. 2 p.m. here. Yes, it is 10 p.m. here, which is why it's always a little bit, yeah, Bounty Hunter Imperial Porter, that's the one, dude. It's always a bit conflicting with the, because I like to do it in the evening because I tend not to drink too early, otherwise I'll be pissed by flipping, you know, by this time I'd have been slavering all over the flipping place, mate, like, need some food, need some grease. But no, I do appreciate everybody who's had a pop in, had a little comment and said hello. Ray, if you do end up watching this back to catch the end of it, thank you for joining in. Mutant, always a pleasure. Bad Animation, thank you very much for being here. And take it easy, guys. I will see you all soon. I have literally just uploaded the Juniper and Madagascar Vanilla video, so you can go and watch that. And yeah, soon we're going to be putting some other ones into secondary which have been sat there for just absolute ages, because sometimes I'm just lazy, man. I'm just like, nah, it'll be all right. The longer you leave them, it's not going to flipping hurt them. The worst thing that's going to happen is some of it might evaporate. Ooh, you know, really bothered. Anyway, guys, absolutely awesome. Take it easy, and I'll see you all soon.